Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I want to rise in support of the Capter Amendment, and I do appreciate that it perhaps is another study, and I know that was one of the concerns of the chair. But frankly, until we fix this problem, I don't think we can study it enough. I think some point we have to come up with a study, a comparison, some data that allows us to deal with what has become an increasingly serious problem. It's always been expensive to buy prescription drugs, but in the last 2 decades, and particularly the last one, prices continue to increase. And I think all of us know, we meet with constituents who say they often make a choice between buying those medications, putting food on the table. In Maine, it's paying for your heating bill, whatever it is, especially our senior citizens and people who have to take multiple medications. It just costs too much money. Now, I spent a lot of time working on this issue when I was a state legislator, and as the Senate Majority Leader back in the state of Maine, we passed one of the more revolutionary pieces of legislation that allowed us to buy prescription drugs and negotiate for prescription drugs using the Medicaid program. But prior to that, we didn't have any ability to do that. And it's time that the United States government, which only negotiates within the Veterans Administration, did that. We're like the only Western nation that doesn't negotiate for better prices. We pay the highest prices in the world. Think of it this way. When our governor talked about the bill at that time, he said, what if you were on the airline and you were the only one who paid full fare and everybody else was in a cheap seat? And that's what it's like for us. And we shouldn't be doing that in government purchasing. We shouldn't be doing that for our seniors. In my state, people cross the border all the time because you can buy the exact same medication, sometimes for 1/3 the price, just by crossing the border. Same package, looks exactly the same. There's just no good excuse for this. And there's no good excuse for many of the things that happen in the pharmaceutical industry. I know they put money in research and development, but as my colleague said, a lot of it goes to buyouts, stock buyouts. Frankly, a lot of it goes to advertising on TV, which wasn't even allowed before 1993. That's an excessive use of something that we don't need to see. None of us need to see those 20 minutes of disclaimers every night that make us afraid to take practically any prescription medication. So I just want to say this is a good piece of, this is a good amendment. We should be doing so much more, and I commend my colleague on this and suggest that all of you vote in favor of it.
Thank you, Ms. Pingree. To close.